Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Really?
All right, ready? So to you guys, what does it mean to be feminine? Or what does femininity mean to you?
Femininity? Femininity. What is
Femininity.
I don't know.
What do you think of when you think of feminine?
I don't know.
Feminine is like flowers and being girly and wearing skirts and dresses.
It means having makeup, being very girly dressed up.
Maybe
Caring about what you look like and your appearance.
Having to wake up extra early in the morning just so that you can look good.
And caring about, watching what we eat and, acting a certain way when you're out. You can't just be yourself all the time.
does that have anything to do with like women's rights and everything like that?
I think it's just being a strong person and showing yourself out to everybody that you're strong and you can handle anything.
I'm not a female, so I wouldn't really pay attention even to anything towards that,
I think to be feminine, you have to feel like, it's okay to be a woman, but also carry yourself with like that pride and distinct walk. That's you.
It's your thoughts, it's your feelings, it's how you handle those thoughts and feelings. It's your understanding of all of those emotions that you have dwelling inside of you.
I mean, everybody has that side. Everybody has that. Like, yeah, exactly.
I tried the Disney movies.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I tried too.
It's funny how we're told that we're all free to become whoever we want to be. But it doesn't take long before we latch onto the unspoken suspicion that this freedom is only acceptable under a certain set of rules and social expectations. A wise woman once asked, "When there is no judgment present, what is alive in you? What wants to be lived inside of you?" A war, I thought, or rather, I felt. I've never belonged to a single place. I grew up with the blood of Lebanon, the heart of Mexico, and the mind of the United States. This is how I viewed the world, divided in three, between my mind, my body, and the flow of emotions among the two. Mix it all together and you have a soul in your hands. That's how I lived my life, with my soul in my hands. Always in movement, never quiet, constantly morphing into anything, everything. There was no imaginary boundary between my dreams, my body, my reason, my thoughts. It felt like I was one with myself. The outside world was irrelevant to what I lived within. That was real. Life outside of my skin was secondary to my temporary states of being a professional dancer, comedian, singer, actress. I was everything and everyone I ever wanted, limitless, abundant, most of all, balanced. But somewhere along the way, little pieces began to dry and wither away until I was left with this one view, one lens that would align everything that was born inside of me with all that was expected outside of me. I quickly picked up that appearing had a heavier impact than being. A sparkling smile accompanied with a thin body could take me anywhere. My soul's tingling whispers dissolve into the air. My sense of purpose and significance drowned in the daily routines of shoulds and musts. I studied psychology in the hopes of regaining what felt like I had long lost, this nameless entity that banged on my heart's doors every night, a force that threatened to burn the falseness and release my inner demons. Every which way I turned seemed like a dead end. Statistics, graphs, predictability. Really? This is the science designed to study human beings? What about my sudden reactions? What about my hunger for fulfillment? What about the loud, irrepressible hunt for meaning? It wasn't long before I was introduced to the theories of Carl Jung. He spoke of a feminine principle, an energy that lived in all of us, responsible for all internal endeavors.
Jung had this idea that every person, regardless of whether they're a man or a woman, has this spectrum of masculinity and femininity. I equate the feminine to the uncertainty principle. There's something about the feminine that doesn't like too much order. And when things get too structured and too hierarchical, the feminine comes in and shakes it up. And that's what makes life interesting.
The feminine was a principle about birthing and nurturing the soul's impulses and desires. An energy source that contained potential and chaos, the perfect ingredients for fueling life itself. The masculine was that which structured the life, the energy that produced limits and form. They were complementary. One could not live without the other. So it became clear to me. The previously blurred agony took shape, and I saw it was endemic. I wasn't alone. I could feel in every single cell of my body my cold despair, reflected in the eyes and hearts of others. We were a people that belonged to the designated compartments we created for ourselves, not to our humanity and not to our own vibrations. My life had been about structure, limits, and strict definitions. That threatening vigor within me was in fact the feminine force that pushed for its release, for its existence, for its ultimate translation onto reality. So I set forth on a journey passing through different realms, seeking what laid underneath. The media, the body, romance, men, professions, and religion. A journey that forced me to stand in silence in each area I passed, listening to those deep voices that had been muzzled and shoved away. Where was the feminine buried? As most stories do, I started at the beginning. In other words, what was the feminine?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Espero que les haya gustado. Como les dije, solo el principio, pero conforme voy hablando más en el documental, hablo, como decía, en áreas del trabajo, del cuerpo, de la religión, de los hombres como género y de los medios de comunicación. Con todo esto me gustaría dejarlos con la idea de que sin importar si son hombres, el género no importa, lo más importante es escucharse a sí mismo y escuchar las diferentes dinámicas que están sucediendo. Todo el mundo nace con un tipo de esencia, con una vulnerabilidad y una pureza y apertura hacia el mundo, y conforme vamos creciendo, como que te las van apagando, ya sea por tu familia o en la escuela o la sociedad o en el trabajo, y de nada sirve llegar y tener una vida que es perfecta ante el mundo si para ti no es verdadera. Y esto aplica mucho sobre todo a las mujeres, que hoy en día, el feminismo de hoy en día las empuja a estar en el mundo laboral, cuando hay muchas mujeres que efectivamente prefieren quedarse en casa y ser mamás. Y a lo que me gustaría decir que no importa cómo se ve ante la sociedad, uno tiene que hacer lo que es verdadero para uno mismo. Igual aplicaría para los hombres. Entonces, bueno, con esto quisiera concluir mi presentación. Si tienen alguna pregunta, ¿una? Okay. Para mí, ¿qué es lo femenino? Okay. Bueno, para mí lo femenino sería toda mi vida interna, sería la voz que viene a tocar mi puerta cuando hay algo en mi vida que ya no está funcionando. Siempre, si estoy haciendo algo de más o algo de menos, hay algo dentro de mí que me dice, ¿sabes qué? Esto no te está sirviendo, esto no te está haciendo feliz, por más dinero que te esté dando o por más reconocimiento que estés recibiendo, aquí no debes de estar tú. Y se escucha muy suave esa voz, pero siempre la escucho y siempre hago todo lo posible para cambiar lo que estoy haciendo, y no necesariamente irme al otro extremo, pero tratar de mantener un balance entre lo que estoy haciendo que me conviene para cierta cosa, pero también para no dejar de ser yo misma. Creo que ya, esto es todo. Gracias.